Yo guys, today we're doing a Batya questline chapter guide. Now this guide is going to be rather long, so it's going to be chapters so you can skip along down below if you're already further than where we're going to start off. So we're going to hop right into it. First off, if you guys have not unlocked the quest yet, you can unlock the quest in a lot of different ways. If you go to the fortress and hop on the AGS turret, the machine gun turret on customs, you can go ahead and get it there. Here's a little map for you guys. So if you guys go to customs, you can hop on the turret here. There's also graffiti on the first floor that says Zonia or something like that. It's like XOA, so I don't know, NA, I don't know. There's graffiti there. Or you guys can even just head over and get the patch over here at this radio tower. Now, if you do this to start the quest, you will need this patch later on. It's the next step is to go get this patch. So if you guys, I recommend if you don't have the quest yet, just go here to unlock it. But once you guys have it, you're going to need to go get the patch. The patch you can find on a couple different maps. I'll go over them right now. So at the radio tower on customs, it's behind the new gas station when it's up and running. At least it looks like it is. There's a little radio tower and there's a little shack there. If you go to the shack on the couch, you will then find the patch sitting underneath the pillow. It looks right there. Now, if you don't want that patch, or if you don't want to go to customs, you can also find the patch on wood. Go to the crash convoy by USEC camp. Okay, here's it on the map. Go to the crash BTR, and then bam, the patch is next to this guy's leg. If you don't want to do it on woods, you can go to reserve, and on the roof of the White King building, there is the patch next to this box. If you guys really want to do that, it's on the roof on Lighthouse. I'll show you guys where. Right here, there's a little bear camp on the kind of between the lighthouse and the little houses that you need to go get the briefcase from for the one quest for therapist. If you go up there, there's a little camp like this, and then obviously on top of this little tree stump where the axe is in it, or the knife is in it, you can find the patch there as well. So once you have that patch, quick disclaimer, all these things that you guys are grabbing from the map that I'm going to be referencing here in the next few minutes, the postcard, Vov Varda's audio recorder, the Starlets Amulet, the dog tag, and the Batya patch, make sure you transfer these items into your character stash inventory. There's a task item stash. Make sure you transfer those off your PMC into there because you're going to need them later. So now we've unlocked the quest and we've gotten the patch. Once you've unlocked that, that will check off the locate traces of the bear squad. Once you find that patch, now you're gonna have to go talk to all the traders about and ask if they know anything. Different people will tell you different stuff. You mostly only get things of value from Jaeger. No one else really knows anything. I think Prapper will tell you a little bit, but he doesn't really let on too much that he has any idea. So next, you're gonna have to locate a bunch of these outposts. Okay, so right after you talk to all the traders, and now you're gonna have to find a couple of the outposts. The first outpost you're gonna need to find is on woods. Here it is in the middle of the map, basically that ridge line between Sniper Mountain and USEC Camp. If you go along there, you will find this is just above the sawmill, kind of in the middle of the map. You'll see the outpost like there, and there's gonna be a few items you need to pick up. You need to pick up a folder. Make sure you read all of the documents for any of the chapters in the game. When you get the documents and it pops and says press M to read this document, press M right then, or go into your handbook right there in the raid, or open your task items and go ahead and read that document right there and then. You do not need to keep these items usually. You just need to actually read them for it to update your chapter. So make sure you read all these documents right away. Listen to all the audio tapes right away. There actually is only like one audio tape in this entire chapter, so you should be good on that. But once you find this outpost on woods, here's what it looks like. Inside of there, you're going to need to find a few documents. Here is a little folder you're going to get. This is a report on one of the boot. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce how to talk about these guys, but it's a document on one of the guys you're going to have to go pick up. It's right here on top of this little pallet in the corner. Just check where the sandbags are. You'll find it. And then there's also down here, if you look towards the back of the map where the sunken village is going to be, if you look towards there, you will see this little alcove. It's a little bit ways away from the camp, just a couple feet away. Look down there towards the street, then you'll see this little ammo box. On top of the ammo box, you will find this little amulet. You're going to need that amulet. Now, that's it for woods. So next, you're going to head onto Interchange. Please make sure you bring your recorder and your special slot for this raid. Now, you're going to head into the front door of Idea, and right when you get up at the top, you're going to take a left. Where that used to be a kitchen is now an updated area. This is an outpost we are going to need to check out. Here it is. It is on the map. Map's honestly not that helpful, but you're going to need a bunch of items, as you guys can see here on the screen. There's a bunch of items you're going to need. So first off, you're going to find 3 personal files, a note, a postcard, a tape recorder, and a tape. So there should be 7 total items that you're going to find. They're scattered across. I'm going to show you images of them here on screen, so now's your time to look. Here is a picture of the actual outpost itself. These are all also available on the wiki, which will obviously be linked down below. Now, postcards can be found next to the cots on top of the newspaper. One of the files can be found directly next to there, in between the 2 cots, leaned up. The recorder and the tape will be found on the tables, kind of tucked away in that closed off area. There's Vov Varda's tape recorder, which can be found in a couple spots across multiple maps, but this is the one you're going to need for the task item. And then the tape is obviously right next to it. Once you pick this up, please make sure you listen to the tape right there in raid. Okay. You're also going to want to listen to it again out of raid just to be super safe. But also, once again, read all these documents that you pick up, all these personal files, read them immediately right away, and it will update your chapters. Okay, so read them right away, please. Next, upstairs on top, you're going to find a bunch of these personal files. There's one up here on this table. I believe that's upstairs. Upstairs as well, on the chair, you're going to find a personal file. And then there is a secret little note. This is also upstairs, I believe, on the sandbag. That is it for the Carousel outpost, but now also on Interchange, when you are here, you're going to have to go find the Genitso outpost. So this is in the new area out back of the mall. You're going to need to go out there. You can do it in the same raid. You can do it in a different raid. It doesn't really matter, but you can see it on the map right here. Now, once you get to this area, there are 6 items that you need to acquire. So on top of this 6 from the previous 7, you're going to be looking at 13 total items you need to pull out of this raid. Once again, make sure you're reading these all again. I'm going to keep repeating this because so many people make this mistake and it kind of bugs their game. So you're going to need to find the operations report. You're going to need to find a personal file. You're going to need to find a note. You're going to need to find another piece of a note, and you're going to need to find an audio tape. Inside the tent, you're going to find this tape. Please listen to it right away. On the cot, you're going to find you're going to find the personal file. Also in the cot, you're going to find a report. There's a file underneath the guitar. There's a part of the note here on top of this green thing. Now, if there's snow still in the game or there's some kind of seasons thing, be careful, it could clip through the green tarp and it's really hard to see and it won't show up. So it is on top of the green tarp. Look on the corner though, you will find it. Also on the chair, you'll find a note, and that is it. Once you grab the note from the blue chair, that is it for Interchange. Go ahead, extract, and then we'll be on to the next step. So once you finish that on Interchange, you're going to head over to Woods. Now, here's a map of Woods with a highlighted grave section. This is from the wiki as well. If you're headed basically from the old train station to the little sunken down military village that has all the stuff in there, basically between that and village, there is like along the rock formations, heading basically it's very vertical up a hill. You will see these graves. Now, that's what it looks like on the map. Here's what the actual graves look like. You'll see there's 2 of them. And there's a bunch of bodies around nearby. So if you see the bodies, you should be able to find the grave. Now, at the grave, there's 3 items you guys are going to need to be able to pick up. There is a code, which you will see is inside the boot. There is the phone on top of the grave, and then there's also a dog tag on top of the little sleeping bag, one of the other grave sites. So once you have those 3 items, you're going to head and extract. You need to extract the phone. If you die, you have to go back and get it. Same thing with the dog tag, I believe. So once you do this, there will be a craft unlocked in your hideout workbench. As long as you have workbench level 1, this should work. So you're going to go ahead and use the craft to craft 2 of these audio tapes. Once you craft them, you're going to go ahead and listen to them. That will update your process, and with those audio tapes and the codes you found, it will tell you what to do in the next step. There being the next step, you need to get Intel Center level 3. This is where most people get stuck. So the next step, get Intel Center level 3. Once you get it, you're going to have to go onto the radio and enter the frequency of 35.70. That is what the codes tell you. Once you do that, you will get contact with Vov Varda. So once you get contact with Vov Varda through the radio, he will tell you that you need to gain access to Lightkeeper. Now, at this point, you should unlock the quest Network Provider Part 1. Follow through Network Provider Part 1, Assessment Part 1, Getting Access, all of the different quests you're going to have to do. Basically, you're going to need to find a bunch of the SG radios. You're going to need to go kill 20 PMCs on Lighthouse within the main island, not at the actual water treatment facility. You're going to have to go find the, little beeper and a couple other things, but that is the main gist of it. I'm not going to walk you guys through how to do those quests. Please log into the wiki, go look at that. But once you gain access to Lightkeeper, you're going to go ahead and give him a visit. So once you guys go and visit Lightkeeper, he's going to tell you guys you need some items to gain the trust. So those items are going to be the items we grabbed from earlier. Now, those are going to be the postcard of Vov Varda's audio recorder, which both can be found on Interchange at the Carousel Outpost. If you guys do not have them, you need to go back and get them, or transfer them out of your task item stash back to your character stash, and then go bring them to Lightkeeper. Those two items can be found. So the Turin's postcard and Vov Varda's audio recorder can be found on the Carousel inside of Idea on Interchange. The Starlets Amulet can be found on the ammunition box at the Hideout Outpost or whatever on Woods, as well as the dog tag can be found at the grave sites on Woods as well. And then the Batya patch can be found. It can be found on Woods. It can be found on Reserve, or it can be found on Customs. There's quite a few locations for that, but you need all 5 of those items to go back to Lightkeeper. Once you talk to Lightkeeper, he is going to say, okay, we can proceed. I trust you. And, he actually tells you to keep the items, but you actually don't get them back, but he doesn't take them. So I don't really know what's going on there. But, okay, so now we brought the items to Lightkeeper, and you need to go back to your hideout and contact Vov Varda via radio. Once again, the channel is 35.70. So once you contact him again, he's going to tell you that he needs to make sure that he can trust you because he was betrayed from someone on the inside. This is where you need to reach light machine gun skill level 5, assault rifle skill level 10, stress resistance level 10, strength level 15, kill 15 targets without dying, and eliminate 4 PMC operatives without dying. Now, I would worry about just getting all your skills to the proper levels, which I'll give you guys tips for here in the next 2 seconds. But once you get all the skills done, then go eliminate 15 targets without dying. Once that's checked off, you're good to die and then do the 4 PMCs, or do the 4 PMCs, die, and then do 15. It doesn't need to both be done in the same exact life. So for leveling up your machine gun skills, for leveling up these different skills, for light machine guns and for assault rifles, I recommend just going to Arena. If you guys don't have Arena, run these. You level up these guns in raid by just shooting and getting confirmed hits and kills with the weapons. So just go ahead and run things that are classified as light machine guns. Assault rifles, you can run in the raids with just a bunch of large magazines and an LMG and start spraying it. Load into factory, just stay in there the entire time with an RPD and shoot everything you possibly can. Make sure you mag dump before you leave. Don't even leave the raid. Stay in that raid until you die, or almost until you die. If you leave, I believe you get more XP. I don't know if that goes for weapon XP too or just overall XP. Either way, try your best to live. Use like 300 fucking rounds. Shoot as many scavs. Mag dump their legs. Mag dump players. Everything like that. Try your best to level it up. That's your best way. Same with assault rifles. But the best way is definitely by far playing Arena with those. Now, for stress resistance and strength, once again, those are also going to be best leveled through Arena. But for the stress resistance, the easiest way is to play Arena or to play the main game and take damage without painkillers in effect. So if you're playing Arena, disable any stims that give you the painkiller effect. So make sure those are disabled. Run around, let your character limp around when you get a broken leg. Keep getting shot. Taking that damage is actually going to keep increasing it. So that's your best way. There's a couple of different ways where you can go near fire barrels in the actual game with no painkillers in effect and stand just close enough to where the fire burns you. You take damage, but you don't die. You can do that. That's another way, but I honestly just did it straight through Arena. It was much easier. But you do you. But that's the next thing, is you're going to get all these skills at the proper level. Once you get those skills at the proper level, you're going to reach back out to Vov Varda via the hideout through channel 35.70. Okay, so once you guys contact Vov Varda again, he will now trust you, and he will tell you that you need to go find dirt. The way you find this dirt is going to be on Lighthouse. Here's a picture of the map. You guys are going to head down here to this little bear camp. It's on the mountains across from all the houses and stuff like that. It's on the more deserted side of the map. At the top of the hill, here's what it looks like on the map. Here's what it looks like when you actually go there. There will be a stake in the ground in the middle of the camp. On that stake is a note. This note shows that Prapor gave the orders. So once you guys have this note incriminating Prapor, you're going to go talk to him. Now, once you talk to Prapor, he goes, yeah, I only know what was passed down to me. I had to do what I was told. So now you are going to have to go find 2 other things across 2 different maps. So the first item you guys are going to have to find is going to be down here on the island on Shoreline. Here's a circle of it. There's a little marked room in the back of this fisherman's house. It's not the fisherman's house up here, but it is down here near the tunnel extract. So once you go inside of there, you're going to see next to the little cardboard box, there is a photo of Vov Varda. You're going to go need that photo. It's the objective is just going to tell you to go to a bunch of maps. You don't need to go to the maps. All you need to do is these maps. So go to Shoreline, get this item. Once you go to Shoreline and you grab that item, the next thing you need to do is either customs or woods. If you go to customs, you can go to dorm room 314, and inside of the marked room, you can then find a note attached to the wall. That note. So if you guys don't want to use the 314 marquee, you guys are going to go head over to the marked circle in the woods over by the shacks outside of Sawmill. Here's a picture of where it is on the map. Here's what the circle looks like. And then along that tree at the bottom of it where the blue jacket is, you will find the note that incriminates General. Once again, read these notes right when you find them. It is very, very important. Read the notes, listen to tapes right when you find them. So once you read that note, your objective is going to update. Now, you guys are very, very close to the end. The next step is you're going to go talk to Lightkeeper. Now, when you talk to Lightkeeper, he's going to call up Vov Varda. A bunch of crazy stuff's going to happen. And basically, you're gonna prove that Lightkeeper was the guy who set up Vov Varda and his squad and killed a bunch of them. He's gonna tell you to come back in 24 hours. When you come back in 24 hours, so in 24 hours, when you come back out to his room on this little red cart, there will be a little note document, a little document you can pick up. This document is very important. Read it right away. You will also need to go hand this over for the savior ending. If you guys want that, this is the document you need to hand over. But go back in the room, pick up this document. You can talk to Lightkeeper if you want. It doesn't really matter. As long as you pick up this document, you'll hear the finish for the Batya quest, and that is the full end of it. You will get the achievement. This is all not a coincidence. So thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. If you guys want to check out more guides, I'll have more coming down below. So let me know if you enjoyed it. I hope that this was pretty straight to the point. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I appreciate it. We'll catch you guys next time.